Imagine relaxing in your own backyard pool only to be told you don't belong there by a complete stranger. That's exactly what happened to Marcus, a successful black homeowner, when a woman named Karen stormed in and accused him of trespassing on his own property. What happened next not only shocked her but left the entire neighborhood speechless. Stick around, because this story will change the way you look at respect, judgment, and community. Get out of here right now! This pool isn't for you. The words cut through the warm summer air like a knife. What should have been a peaceful Saturday afternoon instantly turned into a tense standoff. Marcus, a tall, kind-hearted black man in his early 40s, froze mid-stroke. He had just finished a long week at work and was finally allowing himself a few hours of relaxation in the sparkling blue water of his own backyard pool. But standing at the edge of the deck was a stranger. A woman with a sharp stare, arms crossed tightly, and an air of superiority radiating from her posture. Her name? Karen. Karen had recently moved into the neighborhood, and she had quickly earned a reputation, the kind of person who believed the rules were hers to enforce, even if she didn't fully understand them. She strutted around like the community's self-appointed watchdog, deciding who belonged and who didn't. "Excuse me?" Marcus asked, calmly pulling himself out of the water. Water dripped from his shoulders as he reached for a towel. Karen sneered, her lip curling. "I said you need to leave. People like you don't live here. This is a private community pool, not some public park. You're trespassing." Marcus raised an eyebrow, his patience holding steady. He had lived in that house for more than 10 years. He had poured his savings into designing the backyard, installing the pool, and creating a space for his family to enjoy. The very pool she was calling a community pool had been custom-built behind his home. Still dripping wet, he replied evenly, "Ma'am, I think you're mistaken. This isn't a community pool. This is my property, my home, my pool." But Karen wasn't interested in listening. She shook her head, scoffing as if he had just told her the most ridiculous lie she'd ever heard. Without hesitation, she whipped out her phone. "I don't care what you say," she snapped, already dialing a number. "I'm calling security. You'll regret sneaking into this neighborhood. People like you always try to bend the rules, but not on my watch." Marcus exhaled slowly, wrapping the towel around his shoulders. He had seen people like Karen before, quick to judge, quick to assume, and even quicker to act on their prejudices. He could feel the situation spiraling. But deep down, Marcus knew something Karen didn't. This confrontation was about to backfire on her, in the most unbelievable way. Within minutes, the sound of a vehicle pulling up echoed at the front gate. A neighborhood security officer stepped out, adjusting his cap as he walked briskly toward the commotion. His name tag read Officer Daniels. Before he could even ask a question, Karen practically leapt toward him, waving her arms like she had just caught a dangerous criminal. "That's him!" she shouted, pointing at Marcus as though her finger were a weapon. "That man broke into the pool. Arrest him, drag him out, whatever you have to do. He doesn't belong here!" Marcus didn't flinch. He stood by the poolside, arms calmly folded across his chest, his towel draped over his shoulder. Years of dealing with people like Karen had taught him that patience often spoke louder than anger. Officer Daniels furrowed his brows. His eyes scanned the yard, the well-kept patio furniture, the family photos visible through the sliding glass door. Something didn't add up. "Ma'am," he said slowly, "are you sure? This house clearly belongs to someone." "Do you even live here?" Karen puffed up, her voice dripping with authority she didn't actually have. "Yes, I live 2 houses down, and I know everyone in this neighborhood. I've never seen him before. He's not one of us." Marcus finally stepped forward, his voice calm but firm. "Actually, I've lived here for 10 years. This is my home. That pool you're calling a community pool, it was designed and built for my family, by me." Karen's face twisted in disbelief. She rolled her eyes, scoffing loudly. "Don't lie. People like you can't afford houses like this. Just stop embarrassing yourself." Her words hung in the air like poison. Officer Daniels' jaw tightened at her blatant prejudice. His tone shifted, becoming sharp. "Ma'am, we're not going to jump to conclusions based on assumptions. We'll verify this properly." Marcus walked over to the patio table, his movements deliberate. He picked up his wallet and handed over his driver's license, which clearly displayed the address of the very property they stood on. But then, as if to leave no room for doubt, He reached deeper into his wallet and pulled out a sleek badge. With a small, almost amused smile, Marcus handed it over. Officer Daniels read it, his eyes widening in recognition. "Wait a second. Mr. Marcus Williams? You're the CEO of Williams Development Group?" Karen's confidence cracked. Her smug expression melted into shock, her mouth hanging open but no sound coming out. Marcus nodded slowly, his tone controlled but cutting. "That's right. And here's the part you didn't know. Karen, my company designed and built most of the homes in this community." He paused before delivering the final blow. "Including yours." The silence that followed was thick, heavy, and impossible to escape. Karen's face turned pale, her confidence draining away as quickly as water slipping through a sieve. She opened her mouth, but no words came out. For the first time that afternoon, she wasn't in control of the situation. The security guard turned toward her, his expression hardening with visible disappointment. His voice was stern, almost parental. "Ma'am, not only were you wrong, but you accused the man who owns your very home of trespassing. Do you realize how offensive and disrespectful that is?" Karen's throat tightened. She stammered, I didn't know. I just thought—" Marcus raised a hand, cutting her off. His voice remained calm, but carried a weight that silenced everyone. "No, Karen, you didn't think. You assumed. You looked at me, judged me by the color of my skin, and decided I didn't belong. That's not just a mistake, it's prejudice. And prejudice has no place in a community like this." The officer crossed his arms, his tone even sharper now. "Ma'am, I strongly suggest you apologize. Because if you don't, this could turn into a much bigger issue than you want on your record." Karen's lips trembled. Her eyes darted between Marcus and the officer. Finally, she muttered, I'm sorry." But her tone was hollow, forced. The words squeezed out with no real sincerity. Marcus didn't even flinch. He wasn't looking for her apology. He didn't need her approval or validation. Turning to the officer, he said, "Thank you for handling this fairly. But I think it's time the entire neighborhood learns the truth about who I am and what I stand for." And Marcus did just that. That weekend, he hosted a massive block party in his backyard. The pool was open, food was served, music filled the air, and laughter echoed across the neighborhood. Families brought their kids, neighbors brought dishes, and everyone was welcomed warmly. Everyone except Karen. She remained hidden inside her home, peeking through her blinds, watching as the same man she had disrespected brought the community together in ways she never could, as the children splashed happily in. Marcus's pool and parents thanked him for his generosity. A truth became crystal clear. True ownership isn't about bricks and mortar. It's about dignity, respect, and unity. Marcus raised his glass, smiling at his guests. "This is my home, but it's also our neighborhood. Let's treat each other with kindness. Because in the end, respect costs nothing, but it means everything." Karen finally understood, but far too late to undo the damage she had caused. That day wasn't just about a pool. It was a reminder that judging others by appearances can leave you utterly speechless.